Hi, welcome to Verse of the Day. My name is Brandon Hathaway, preach at the Westside Church of Christ in Owensboro, Kentucky, and I want to thank you for joining me today as we open up the Bible, study the Word of God. Today we are in Mark chapter 16. Mark 16, going to look at verse 14. Mark 16 and verse 14, a couple things I want to bring out of that verse. Again, tomorrow we will be going to 1 Corinthians. But today, Mark 16:14. Later, he appeared to the 11 as they sat at the table, and he rebuked their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they did not believe those who had seen him after he had risen. And so, one thing to bring out, and I know I've said this before, and it's just because it's a reminder to me, we always get caught up in doubting Thomas. Because there's a special point about him that is made, right? Him at, Jesus appeared to him, say, look here, see my holes. But here it brings out, again, every one of them, when it first brought to them that Jesus is risen, they all doubted the news, and a little bit of unbelief there. And so it's just a reminder that they all kind of went through that, not just Thomas, and didn't know what to think about this news, because again, everything that they have been doing with the Lord has, in their mindset, just ended, and they left their work, they left the fishing, they left parents and family, and now everything's kind of like, what do we do? And so here, Jesus rebukes them and says, he rebuked their unbelief and hardness of heart. And so, again, it wasn't, I understand, you went through a hard time there. He rebuked them. And again, it doesn't say how hard he rebuked them, that he was real harsh, but he did rebuke them. He did, he warned them of this. He tried to prepare them for this. He told them time and again. And, even as you read earlier in these passages, as it's bringing out those who went to his burial spot, and who's going to remove the tomb, and they see that it's removed. The person that's in there says, he's risen and he'll meet you down there, as it was said, as he said to you there in verse 7. And so he prepared them for this. He told them about these things, and yet their unbelief was still there. They did not fully understand the things that Jesus had taught yet. And so it's just a reminder to us, one, make sure we continue to study the Word of God. Don't allow the hardness of our hearts to cause us to go astray. But two, don't forget that there are times in which you may need to be rebuked, and we may have to rebuke others. And so let that be a reminder to us that those things have to be done. And so I want to thank you for joining me. Again, tomorrow we'll go to 1 Corinthians if the Lord is willing. I'll talk to you later.